Joined now by Badger hockey insider Luke Meinholz. Luke, how you doing?
Oh, it's a great day here in Madison. Sun's shining. The construction crews are pounding away at whatever they got going on. And Piccolo guys playing down there by the University Bookstore. So it's a great day down here at the University of Wisconsin in Madison.
Yeah, as Coach Johnson would say from time to time, it's a great day for hockey.
All right. Every day is a great day for hockey.
No hockey today, but there was hockey this past weekend. The UW men's hockey team took on North Dakota. Luke, how did the series go against the Fighting Sioux?
Well, not a great weekend for Coach Eves and the Badgers. They dropped both games. A 1-0 decision on Friday night, and then a 4-2 pounding on Saturday. But Coach Eves is very optimistic about the way the season's gone so far. In fact, in his press conference from yesterday, he said, "Hey, to be sitting at 6-4-2 with the team that we have, I think we're overachieving here a little bit."
Yeah, like you said, on Saturday, a 4-2 loss. I was able to catch some of that game. It seemed like the Fighting Sioux were just overpowering the younger Badgers. They'd placed their center right in front of the net, and the defenseman couldn't kind of push him off where he was staying. And again, just bigger defenders kind of bruising the Badgers, something you normally see out of North Dakota anyway. But do you see kind of a physical maturity being a factor in the Fighting Sioux's victories this past weekend?
Oh, yeah, totally, in every way. When you look at North Dakota this year, they're a team very similar to what the Badgers had on the ice last season. Very experienced, a lot of upperclassmen on that team. I mean, North Dakota is the preseason favorite to win the McNaughton Cup, which is the WCHA trophy for the regular season, and then also make a push for a national championship towards the end of the year. So, I mean, not a bad show against a possible national title contender, but it's very disappointing. That Friday night series, the Badgers went 0 for 6 on the power play, which isn't very good, especially when you consider that 2 of those power plays were 5-minute majors. So you go 0 for 6 with the man advantage, 2 of those being 10 minutes in length, and not even getting shots off on those. I mean, North Dakota just moved around very effectively, shut down the shooting lanes, and then on the opposite end, like, they just pestered the Badgers. Scott Goodmanson, the goalie for the Badgers, is amazing despite having a 3-4-1 record on the season. He's one of the only reasons the Badgers are staying in some of these close games. Not getting a lot of help from the defense in front of them, but the defense is very young. I mean, the best 2 defensemen, Craig Smith and Justin Schultz, those guys are just sophomores, so not very optimistic about the upcoming series against Minnesota Duluth, which was just yesterday moved into the number 1 spot for men's hockey. And a tough series the weekend after that. We got Michigan and Michigan State coming in. Michigan ranked number 9, Michigan State ranked number 17. So the next 4 games for the Badgers are going to be all against very good competition.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough month for the Badgers in November. But again, looking directly forward to this weekend, UMD, what do they bring to the table that has put them, like you said, to number 1 in the nation?
While North Dakota came at you with size and aggression, Minnesota Duluth, you're looking at a team that's more puck control. They're going to pass it a lot, and they're going to have a lot of poise out on the ice. Again, a very upperclassman heavy team. Lots of NHL draft picks. In going to be going through the Kohl Center these next few weeks. I mean, Wisconsin has a few themselves. North Dakota had 17. I think Minnesota Duluth had somewhere around between 16 and 18 NHL draft picks. So look for the Badgers to try and go against the Bulldogs with a more aggressive style. In the North Dakota series, they came out very, very flat. Goodmanson only let up 1 goal, and he didn't even see that one. So, I mean, he's keeping the Badgers in these close games while the defense from him is very young. On the Friday game, again, no help from the defense. One goal, he had a good shot at stopping. The other 3 never saw him. One was on a redirected puck. One went in while he was being laid on by a Badger and a couple Fighting Sioux, and the defensive men didn't skate over to get the puck out of the crease, and North Dakota just kind of tapped it in. And another was on a redirect. So if the Badgers come out and play fast and aggressive, shut down those shooting lanes for the Bulldogs, maybe we'll get a chance to upset the number one team in the country. It happened last season. Denver came in ranked number one, but this Badger team is very different from the one that Coach Eves had on the ice last season.
You've mentioned Scott Goodmanson so far this interview. Badgers do have Brett Bennett as their other goalkeeper, but Goody again being used twice this past weekend. Do you see Coach Eves using Goodmanson more, considering Bennett's struggles so far this season?
Well, it's not so much that Bennett has struggled. He's sitting at 3-0-1 and actually has a better save percentage and less goals allowed than Goodmanson. But Goodmanson's played twice as many games so far. In his press conference, Coach Eves addressed that the way Goodmanson played in that 6-0 defeat of Minnesota at the Mariucci Center compared to the way Bennett played in the 3-3 tie, and then the way Goodmanson played in that 0-1 loss to North Dakota on Friday made it easy for Eves to make the decision to put Scott back out there for Saturday night. He likes his rotation. I mean, the women's team has a rotation going right now, but it's not something that's very common in the world of hockey to have a goalie rotation. Usually you like to have your number one guy, but give him a night off every once in a while. This is clearly just, a rotation. Personally, I'd rather see Scott Goodmanson in the goal. He just has the propensity for making great, spectacular saves. Like on Saturday, he made splayed out on the ice. He made pretty much like a backhanded glove save that was one of the most remarkable things I might have seen in Badger hockey in a very long time. It's not that Bennett isn't any good, but I clearly think Goodmanson's the hot hand here. You got to ride him out. He's not making mistakes. He's making save after save. In the North Dakota series, Wisconsin was outshot by North Dakota 32-68. That's almost unacceptable for a team. You let a team get off 68 shots against you in a series. Wisconsin was held to 16 shots in both games, which is the lowest total they've had so far this season, it's that back-to-back outing is actually one of the lowest in the Eves era. The only lower time coming back in the 2002-2003 season, where one game they got off 12 shots and the other game they got off 18.
All right, thanks for joining us again, Luke. Again, the Badgers taking on the University of Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs this upcoming weekend at the Kohl Center. And again, they'll follow that with a Thanksgiving series against two teams from the CCHA, Michigan and Michigan State. Look forward to talking to you throughout the season, Luke.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show tonight, Tyler.
Again, that's Badger Insider Luke Meinholz. Coming up next, we'll talk more about some Badger athletics right here on the Sports Page.